Season's greetings. Now let's get to the bleedings. Happy holidays, fiends. My name is Alucard. The holidays have started, whether we like it or not, but that means Christmas horror. So today we are dashing through the snow to watch the new Christmas horror anthology, Phil Herman's I Slay on Christmas. It comes to us through Herman Productions, Wine Coop Productions, Chivi's Films Productions, Yakuzo Studios, Lone Wolf Studios Uruguay, and Debbie D Productions. First off, I would like to thank Herman Productions for sending me a copy to watch and review for you guys. If you're a fan of low budget cinema, these guys should always be at the top of your list to check out. Now, on to the movie. So, this is the story of some evil ass pine cones. We start off with two mini shorts. The first has a man running through the woods as he is confronted by a mysterious pine cone. Then we switch to the second one with another man watching a kooky weatherman on TV discussing how warm the holiday season has been. Meanwhile, that viewer slowly starts turning into a zombie. Now we get to the proper wraparound story starring Phil Herman himself as Joseph, a man wandering around the woods covered in snow. He encounters a strange man who gives him 4 pine cones. Each one comes with a nightmare of Christmas past. So he picks up the first one, which leads us to the first story. All chopped up and nowhere to go. This one stars Joel D. Winecoop as Drudge, the meanest Scrooge I've ever seen. We find out immediately that he likes to hack up people in the woods. He also is abusive to his deaf son Billy, going so far as even telling him that Santa is dead. And his poor wife Bree, who finally gets enough of his crap and hits him with a pan, and she flees with Billy. So Drudge gets a couple of visitors after all this happens, all leading up to unfortunate outcomes. There was a funny bit here where Drudge is going off on Bree, and he takes a big break to down some water. Like, it's just funny. He's like, blah, 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 blah. He's like, blah, 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 blah. It's pretty funny. I thought it made me chuckle. And there's even a like meta moment where Drudge is watching the 1992 film Lost Faith, which stars Joel D. Winecoop. I thought that was kind of neat. This short starts out strong, but it doesn't really supply an ending. This one also is directed by Joel D. Winecoop and also stars M. Catherine Winecoop, his lovely wife, as Bree, and Sean Donahue as Jimmy the Elf in a very funny part. Next up, we get The Best Company, which starts as a Spanish newscast revealing the story of a serial killer collecting human body parts during the Christmas time. The killer invites his new girlfriend to his apartment, and there's a bit of a twist, and I'm just going to leave it there. This one's pretty good, and I wish I could say more, but I really shouldn't if you're going to watch this movie because I don't want to give stuff away. So this one is directed by Marcelo Fabani and stars Walter Alonso as the killer Luis. Our third story is called Regifting, starring Debbie D as Suzette, a woman excited to give her new boyfriend his Christmas present. All is well until the boyfriend isn't quite what he seems. This one also kind of abruptly ends, but there is an ending, but it just kind of like, all right, boom, end. This one could have been a little bit more fleshed out. I thought they try to flesh it out with a very long telephone conversation between Suzette and her gal pal Bunny, played by Deborah Dutch. But that scene just seems to meander a bit. But I will say, no one plays dead better than Debbie D. And this one was directed by James Panetta. All right, which brings us to our final story called Christmas Revenge. As a child, Curtis saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. And as an adult, he kidnaps Santa and the torture begins. Being the real Santa, he pleads with Curtis to stop as he tells him the real story of his mom. Curtis doesn't believe him, though. But luckily, Santa has a contingency plan for something like this. This is easily my favorite story here. So this film does end on a high note. This one's fun, it's bloody, and it has a badass ending. This one is directed by Derek Brash and stars Justin Bauer, PJ Laird, Nina Trader, and Heather Harlow. Then we get the conclusion to Joseph's story as his wife Mary sings Christmas carols in the shower. Side note, she has a really great singing voice. I was pretty impressed. All I'll say here is that there ends up being a diabolical ending to it all. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Overall, this is a solid sort of anti-Christmas anthology. At least that's the kind of vibe I was getting from it. It's nasty. It's mean-spirited. It's it's strangely sexy in parts. It's kind of brutal. It's bloody. It kind of takes no prisoners. The low budgetness may turn off some. Like some of the effects are not the greatest. The acting kind of varies from over the top to just plain out dull, with a few good performances in between. So I'll give Phil Herman's I Slay on Christmas 3 sleigh bells out of 5. I'll recommend this film for fans of Christmas horror, anthology horror, and Scrooges. The film is out now. You can contact Phil Herman or Joe D. Winecoop on Facebook directly to get a physical copy of the film. Until next time, adios, Bella Lugosi, and happy holidays.